I'm going to talk about the importance of technique while training, um, how it plays into what you're training for, and why this is the most important thing when getting into training and to the gym. First of all, you got to define what you're training for, and you might want to click off this video here if it's nothing other than to gain muscle and lose body fat, because that's exactly what I focus on. I don't really train anyway else. Like, I know there's a lot of people are into just calisthenics or strength training. There are many different types of training, and you got to identify what do you want to be good in. You got to decide what you're really after in the gym. What is your purpose here? What are you after? What are you trying to do? What is your goal? So once you get that sorted, then you could break it down and define what exactly do you want to train for. I don't train for strength. I don't train for functionality. And not saying those types of training are bad by any means, but whatever keeps you in the gym keeps you in the gym. But I'm going to be describing in this video training for hypertrophy and muscle gain, basically just looks, because that's all I really care about, honestly. Maybe I'll get into the other types of training down the line, but as of now, this is what I teach, this is what I do. So I'll be describing that in this video here. The reason why technique is so important in hypertrophy training especially is because we're trying to maximize our time in the gym. That's the way I see it, right? I want to go in, get the results I want to get, and not waste any energy or any time just spinning my wheels. So that's why I track everything so into depth. And this is the reason why I focus on technique so heavily, because it allows us to get consistent results. It allows for consistent tracking, less injuries in the gym because you're lifting properly. You get your desired look, and it's just quick in and out. I spend about 40 minutes to an hour in the gym, then I'm out of there. A huge thing when focused on hypertrophy training, we really want to focus on the muscle we're hitting. So kind of, you might not be able to get this at first, but eventually you'll be able to visualize, well, you'll be able to feel in your body, you understand your own body based on whatever you're hitting, whatever muscle group, whatever muscle you're hitting on an exercise. You want to make sure that you're working and training that muscle there. Technique and tempo are important because you don't want to cause any injuries. A rule of thumb I always played it by, and I always tell people, is if the weight's too heavy for you to control fully, then it's too heavy for you. You're risking more injuries, you're risking not optimal hypertrophy gains, and if you're not trying to become a strength athlete or just get your strength up, you're kind of wasting your time if you're trying to build muscle and that's your goal in the gym. Proper technique also sets you up for the foundation of the rest of your lifting career, or not even career, just the rest of your lifting life. Once you get the proper techniques trained, then it's ingrained for you forever. You don't need to relearn them down the line. Maybe if you take a break, but you'll always be on the right track technique-wise. If you learn the wrong technique, not only do you have to unlearn the wrong technique, but you also have to learn the right technique. So this is why I put a huge emphasis on it, especially new gym goers or people just focusing on technique. Try to get on it as soon as possible. And it may seem lame to like go slow, control, but if you want the best bang for your buck, you're gonna need to learn these things. You always wanna make sure to control the eccentric, and that's the movement going down or up if you're in a pull session. So this is where most of the muscles gained. I'm not going to go into the science or optimal or data and all of that. This is just what I've been doing and what's been working for me and what have I learned. Super important to control this because that's where most injury is prone as well. So that's why we go slow. But also just milking the stretch, pausing at the stretch for at least a second. That way we get most gains down there. We stretch it for everything that's possible. So every rep looks the same. And this is another huge point, that making rep 1 look the same as the last rep, despite how hard it is, how fatiguing it feels, to keep the same technique and form to make it consistent. So rep 1 always looks the same as the last rep in order to lock in that technique and just get maximal results. By no means is training this way going to get you 100% more results than you could have got before without doing this way. Just the way I see it is, if I'm going to be in the gym for an hour a day for 6 days a week, I'd rather be getting, or however many days a week, I'd rather be getting everything I could possibly get out of that hour. Well, even if they're only 20% better, like I'd rather have the 20% better. I'm gonna be there for an hour, so might as well. So getting that out of the way, this is not a make or break your gains, but this is just a general guideline. And if you really want to maximize your results and your time, and you value your time, and you want to the best bang for your buck, here it is. Like, this is especially important for tracking numbers too, because if we hit 15 reps last time, but the form was all over the place, how are we gonna know the next 16 we do are stimulating the muscle in the same way? So we want to keep everything congruent. So if we did 15 last week and we do 16 this week, we know we're progressing, because the form, technique, the amount of strain on the muscle is more because each rep was the exact same. So that's another huge thing of tracking. And it just makes life so much more simpler because you're not worried about progression. You know you're training safe and hard, and it just makes the worlds of easier, and it allows you to get to your goals quicker. It may not be night and day difference, but there's a difference there, and I want to milk it for everything possible, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Training in this manner will allow you to lift for longer in your life, get better gains, have a better time in the gym, not worry about injuries too often, and just overall give you a better experience, and you'll be sure of yourself knowing that you're in there with a purpose and that you're not just there doing just to be there. You're there with a goal in mind, and it will add to everything you already have going and just intensify your fitness and give you a better, more solid outcome.